Tap is one of the first original American art forms. It's an instantly recognizable combination of movement and sound.
It's such a fun thing to see because people want to see what is at the bottom of the shoe, and how you make the sound, and that's always a curiosity. This is how we make the sound with the aluminum. Originally, they were wooden.
Tap dancing started in Five Points, now Chinatown in New York City. This slum was one of the city's first melting pots. The percussive dances that nurtured tap came from African ceremonies, Irish jigging, and British clogging. In the early 1800s, African American and Irish people lived and worked side by side. Martin Scorsese referenced the origins of tap in Gangs of New York.
Rhythms of the dark continent, thrown into the kettle with an Irish shindig.
Some historians believe that enslaved people in America started using their bodies and feet for percussion after drums were banned to discourage rebellion. That part of history is shared with jazz. And with improvisation as an essential element, tap is also considered jazz.
We were considered musicians. We consider ourselves musicians.
Historical records from the mid-1800s describe early tap as a popular entertainment for blacks and whites in cellars and dance halls. Minstrels performed along with folk music on violins and banjos. Those Irish reels were the pop music at the time, and as pop music evolved, so did the fancy footwork. Early tappers like Master Juba even went on to tour Europe. By the end of that century, black minstrel shows made people laugh, and over time, tap dancing became associated with American comedy. In the 1900s, tap appeared in films even before they had sound. The style became very popular in the 1930s and 40s, when it was featured in major Hollywood movies and Broadway shows. As the decades passed, tap was displaced by other styles in popular music and was relegated to musical theater. Traditional tap became an underground expression. In the 70s in New York, Jane Goldberg and Brenda Buffalino produced shows to return the old hoofers back to the stage.
I think we were looking for authenticity, and we knew that the Broadway tap wasn't the, quote, real thing. We don't go 5, 6, 7, 8. We go, Like, in other words, you don't count. You just do it rhythmically.
The style is still strong in New York City, where young dancers honor the old hoofers.
To make music from your feet, from like your ancestors and like your spirit, and for it to come out that way, I think it's quite amazing. The most important thing is the music. When the music isn't there anymore and this is being substituted, say be it the arms or the face or not being honest, that's when it becomes a problem. It's all about the music.
There are old moves still in force. A basic routine from the 1920s, the shim sham, is still danced worldwide. And tap moves on, merging with new immigrant styles.
Always felt very connected with the rhythms that I grew up with, and so I decided to just put it together with my other passion, tap dance. Bossa nova, samba, maracatu, all those rhythms together. I mixed the American art form, tap dance, with my Brazilian influence.
As tap evolves, dancers who preserve the old hoofer style are hopeful that it will continue to capture audiences into the future.
Something that is so very intimate and so very rare, I find that it's always fresh and that it's always new. Whenever people see tap dancing, they're like, wow, how can you do that with your feet? It just always makes people smile.